what's up guys? Talk movies with us here, back again with another movie review. This time of the highly anticipated Deadpool 2, starring
Ryan Reynolds.
Your favorite man on the face of this earth. Besides me.
Besides you.
Of course.
He would be number 2. You are obviously number 1.
Always, right? Directed by David Leitch.
Yep. And also starring in this one, Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin, man. That guy's been one of my favorites lately. I such a badass.
And, you know, obviously he's playing Thanos, so he's just all over Marvel right now.
Yeah. Cable, Thanos, man, this guy... He's on a roll so far, yeah, for sure. Quick plot summary of Deadpool 2. Josh Brolin's character, Cable, is essentially the Terminator, right? Doesn't that shirt look familiar? T1 poster?
Yeah,
Terminator
it's pretty
1.
awesome.
Cable comes back from the future to kill a young mutant, and Deadpool is gonna try to... step in the way a little bit.
Yep, he gathers a team and he says, hey, we're saving this kid.
Yes.
And that's essentially all that we can tell you, because otherwise we'd be spoiling it. As per the first one, you guys kind of know what you're getting into. You're getting super sarcastic humor, a lot of breaking the fourth wall, a lot of blood, a lot of everything. Action.
A million pop culture references.
Yes, and there are a lot in this one.
Yes, a ton of little
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs, yeah. And man, let's just talk about Ryan Reynolds as Deadpool. The guy owns this role.
He is the perfect Deadpool. He is the Deadpool that we needed back in Wolverine, which we didn't get. His humor, you know, even back from his older movies like Waiting and Van Wilder. I mean,
Just Friends, man, that's one of my favorites of his. That always will be.
Yeah, I mean, he's just perfect.
Yeah, talk about someone.
He can do no wrong.
Nah, he's a good actor. Talk about someone born to play a role.
Yeah.
He nails it. You know, the pop culture references are on point in this one.
Yes.
Of course, stay for the credits. They're totally worth it.
The end credit in this movie is probably the best one I've ever seen in a Marvel movie.
And you know why I love Deadpool is because it's so self-aware. You know, if there's a cliched moment, Deadpool turns to the camera and goes, that's lazy writing.
Yeah.
That was in the trailer. So I'm not spoiling anything, but it's just, I like seeing that. You know, it's so self-aware of all these comic book movies that have been coming out, and it's just doing its own thing.
I know. It kind of makes fun of Hollywood. It makes fun of certain directors. It makes fun of comic books. It makes fun of pretty much everything.
Much like South Park, and no one is off limits. With all that being said, with all the humor and the jokes, this and that, this movie isn't all fun and games.
There are some serious moments to it.
There are some serious moments, and the action scenes are freaking awesome.
They're very well done.
And especially the ones including this guy, Cable, and Josh Brolin. His scenes, his action scenes are freaking fantastic. He sells everything he's in. He's just awesome.
I love Josh Brolin. I think he's a great Cable. I know for some reason some people are a little skeptical of him when he was first announced, but I think he nailed it. I don't really know anything about the actual comic book character, so I'm not sure how true it is. But I know that from what I've seen, he is awesome. He's so badass. I mean, his action scenes, they're brutal to watch because he is a badass.
He owns it. He owns it. And with the slight subtle humor here and there, little lines, but...
Yeah, but he's like so straight-faced about it.
Yeah. So good. He's everything you want in like this badass guy, you know?
And I hope that this is not the last that we see of him as Cable.
I hope not, because he's freaking awesome. Of course, he was great as Thanos, great as this. And he's kind of had a resurgence over the past, maybe I would say 10 years or so.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I mean, even we just watched him in, like, Only the Brave, and he was fantastic. I mean, Old Boy.
But anyway, Cable is great. He's right on par with Deadpool in this, and if anything, I think I might have liked Cable a little bit more. He made this movie for me.
Yeah, and I don't know the actress's name, but the girl who plays Domino is great. I think that, you know, she was actually really funny for, you know, having to play up the fact that she's lucky. That's her superpower. So I think that she did a really great job, and I do want to touch on
his little crew that he assembles.
Yes, but the boy, the mutant boy, I just want to say that he reminded me, if Rebel Wilson had a son, that would be him.
Oh my god, for sure.
Because
you were
he's
on
got
point
the
with
accent. I mean, he is chubby. You know, they do play up on that.
That's right, you're allowed to say it. He was a little portly.
But I mean, he was good. He was good for what he was.
Very good.
But he really did remind me of a young Rebel Wilson.
Yeah, no, when you said that after the movie, I said you nailed that one 100%. And really quick, we're not going to mention everybody. We'll mention some of the crew that he assembles, you know, aka Terry Crews.
Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise.
Yeah, he'll be forever known as Pennywise now.
Yes.
And Peter. We don't know his real name as an actor. We'll just call him Peter.
Well, Peter was awesome.
Man, he was he was the funniest part in this movie. And there's a scene with the helicopter all these guys are involved in. It's just freaking hilarious. One of my favorite parts of the movie. Fun crew. They all have their shining moments, if you will.
Oh, definitely. Of course they do. You know, Deadpool has to give everybody their moment. That way they can also be made fun of.
And they definitely do, for sure. And now, with any sequel, right? This is Deadpool 2. What's everybody gonna do? Compare it to the original.
Oh, yeah. I was like, where are you going with that?
So, how would this rank for you opposed to the first one?
So, the first one, I remember literally laughing nonstop from the very opening scene all the way until the end. This one, you know, I did have my moments where I laughed and everything. I do think that I like Deadpool, the original Deadpool, better than this one, but I think this one is almost on par to be just as good. I don't really dislike it. I think it was fantastic. It's funny. It does have its serious moments, so, you know, I can appreciate that. And
it definitely balances it out a little bit. I feel like in this one there's a little bit more of a balance with the serious opposed to being all fun and games, you know.
My only complaint is I feel like the storyline fell flat. I think it kind of was going, and then it kind of just like dropped off a little bit. That's just how I feel.
Yeah,
but
I know, like once it hits a certain point and then like you didn't realize that was going to be a main part of the storyline until it happens. You're like, oh, okay. And then it just kind of goes on from there. That part doesn't,
maybe it doesn't
flow 100%. It kind of just happens and then you're on board, which it's a minor complaint, guys, because we had a great time with this one.
And it's one of those movies that I could, just like the first one, watch it again and again and again. Yeah. So, you know, and it's fun because every time you watch it, you'll kind of notice more and more of those Easter eggs that they have hidden.
And if you're a comic book fan, I mean, we're not the most, you know, everyone in the world out there all of a sudden knows every comic book ever written. I mean, we're not like that. We pretty much know them from the movies, and we have a light basis of the comic books, you know.
But I hear from
the diehards.
The diehards that this actually has a lot more comic book details in it for those who do read the comics. So,
and I'm sure, you know,
now you know, maybe I'll pick them up a little bit more.
Oh, for sure. And I'll follow that question up with how does it rank to the first one? I will say my complaints are the ones that you pretty much had.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, I think it's pretty much on par with the first one. I asked myself this question when the movie ended. What do I like more, Deadpool 2 or Deadpool 1? And I think they are very close.
They are. Well, they definitely are.
If I like the first one more, I'm not going to say, oh, the first one is clearly better. Because I don't think it is. I think they're very close. They're very close. I'm going to call it a tie. You know?
You're going to call it a tie?
I'm going to call it a tie. Maybe I like Deadpool 2 better just because of the fact you have that dynamic between Cable and Deadpool. So I'm gonna give the edge to Deadpool 2 for that one. Like what you were trying to say, with the original Deadpool film, we really had no idea what to expect.
Yeah.
Especially after his little cameo in X-Men, right? We had no clue what to expect. But now with the sequel, we kind of know what Deadpool is all about. And it manages to keep it fresh.
It does.
It's never boring. It doesn't, you know, it's still fresh. It's not like I can't see them making another one. I hope they make a couple of more. I'm sure this is going to crush at the box office.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think it's getting played out by any means, as long as they keep updating the humor. And
I think that this could be a pretty big franchise. And, you know, I would really hope that they can take Deadpool's character and either create a new X-Men universe for us or bring him over into the MCU.
I think that's where it's heading. I'll always respect Deadpool for the fact of, and I love these comic book films for the fact of, it's not the same. All right, Infinity War was great, but this is like a nice fresh take on a comic book film. It's so self-aware that I love that sometimes. It's a nice break, you know? And with the raunchy humor and the crazy comedy at times. Shout out to Winnie the Pooh.
I mean, the one-liners, everything is just, it meshes so well. So
well done.
What are we grading this thing?
I will give it an A-.
Okay.
A- for the reasons mentioned. There you go. What are you giving it?
I'm going to give it an A- just because I know that the first one I'd probably give it an A+ just because of how much I love it. And since this one would be right below it, A-.
I think I would probably give both A-minuses. They're tied in my eyes. They really are. It's a tie.
Which is fine.
And, you know, another reason you got to respect these films is because Ryan Reynolds took the bull by the horns, and he had such a passion for making this film. And, you know, he made it his own. He's part of the writing team for these films. And the guy's made a great franchise right now. And, you know, hats off to Ryan Reynolds.
Definitely. And he's
your boy.
He's my boy.
Yeah.
But after seeing Josh Brolin as Cable,
Josh Brolin's the man.
I'm really not sure who I would choose.
And
no,
I'm
just kidding. Ryan Reynolds forever, but Josh Brolin, man, you got it going on.
Alright guys, so those are our thoughts on Deadpool 2. Comment down below. Let us know what you think about it.
And also let us know what your favorite Josh Brolin or Ryan Reynolds movie is.
Yes, let us know in the comments down below.
And as always, guys, give this video a big thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video.
See you guys later.